The sun heats the Earth with a lopsided shower of radiation, whose uneven patterns spawn and sustain a constant rush of air across the face of the planet. So powerful are these forces that at any given time, the total amount of usable wind power in the atmosphere far exceeds the world's current total energy consumption. These vast wind resources exist on both land and sea, and they could be developed into a mighty source of energy. In the past decade, wind has become the leading source of renewable energy. Wind power accounts for about 1.5% of the world's installed electricity generating capacity. The United States, China, Germany, India and Spain have the largest installed capacity, but currently more than 80 countries around the world are using wind power on a commercial basis. Wind has become the world's leading source of renewable power, and it's expected to help reduce dependency on fossil fuels, particularly coal and natural gas, which release unwanted carbon into the atmosphere. Denmark still leads the world with 20% of its electricity generated from wind. Other countries, the United States, China and India, are stepping up wind power development. Many governments are setting high targets for wind energy development, 15% or higher by the year 2030. And so the worldwide race to develop the wind industry is on. Although there is great potential, there are also limits. To what extent can we actually exploit wind power to meet our electricity needs? What are the technical, economic and environmental factors that limit our ability to harness wind energy? How important is public acceptance for the growth of wind power development?
We are in a race against time to substitute, to replace all conventional energies by renewables.
We'd like to have up to 33% of all of our electricity come from renewables and more.
The Chinese government has already set the future target. It put the renewable energy as the development of the renewable energy as the priority.
The growth in our electricity demand is absolutely exponential.
So our energy has to come from someplace, and so you need to stack wind energy up against the other alternatives and see which one really makes the most sense.
It's an all-you-can-eat buffet of low-cost, clean energy. As much as you want, it is there just to take. And that's what's interesting here in Texas. The wind has been very, very successful.
What is more important than even the wind resource itself is the policy environment there.
Fossil fuels, coal, oil and natural gas account for more than 80% of the world's energy consumption, and almost 2/3 of the world's electricity is generated by burning fossil fuels. We are releasing CO2 into the atmosphere at a much faster rate than can be absorbed by the oceans and the world's plant life. Mankind is in a race against time to replace fossil fuels with renewable energy.
Prosperity, not just for us, but for the whole world, I think is inextricably linked to energy. Without sufficient energy, everybody's standard of living starts to decline. Abundant and sustainable energy is probably the solution to a lot of our problems. With energy, all the other problems can be solved. Without it, everything begins to fall apart.
Today, most of our energy comes from coal, petroleum and natural gas. According to many scientists, if we continue to release carbon emissions at the current rate, this will have devastating consequences. The question is, how fast can we develop alternate forms of energy to meet the world's growing energy needs? One approach is to step up nuclear energy and to develop clean coal technologies. Another approach is investment in renewables that will draw energy from the sun, wind, crops, rivers, ocean currents and tides. This program focuses on what engineers and other experts have to say about wind technology and public policy.